At 80 years old, you might have lost up to half your muscle mass, but there's a simple daily habit that can help reverse it. And fast. According to research from Harvard and the Mayo Clinic, it works, yet 93% of older adults have never even heard of it. Let's break it down. Most people assume losing muscle is just part of aging. But here's the truth. Sarcopenia, the medical term for age-related muscle loss, isn't just a natural part of growing older, it's a silent condition that's quietly stealing strength from millions of seniors every year. Sarcopenia can start as early as your 30s, but after 60, the decline speeds up significantly. By age 80, many people have lost nearly 50% of their muscle mass and often don't realize it until everyday tasks feel harder. You notice it when climbing stairs becomes exhausting, when standing up from a chair feels like a struggle, or when carrying groceries leaves you sore for days. These aren't just signs of getting older. They're red flags of something deeper. Unfortunately, most doctors don't fully explain what's really going on. According to the Journal of Physiology, muscle loss isn't just an inevitable part of aging, it's often preventable, and in many cases reversible. In fact, some studies show that individuals in their 70s and 80s can regain strength, mobility, and physical function comparable to people in their 40s. How is that possible? It's not luck, it's not genetics, and it's not an expensive therapy. It all comes down to one powerful habit. Before we dive into what that is, let's understand what's happening behind the scenes. Muscle doesn't simply disappear, it breaks down due to chronic inflammation, poor movement patterns, hormonal shifts, and lack of consistent stimulation. When your body no longer receives the signal to build and maintain muscle, it stops trying. Your balance, energy, and metabolism all begin to decline. Here's the sobering part. Each year, over 300,000 older adults are hospitalized due to falls linked directly to weak muscles. What if this decline could be reversed? Not through lifting heavy weights, taking supplements, or undergoing surgery, but by making one simple shift in your daily routine. That's what researchers from Harvard, the Mayo Clinic, and the University of Texas have discovered, and the findings are remarkable. In one study, older adults who practiced this single habit daily gained up to 3.3 Ls of muscle in just 12 weeks, without changing their diets or engaging in intense exercise. The key isn't pushing your body harder, it's about triggering the body's natural mechanisms that tell muscles to rebuild and grow rather than waste away. In the next section, we'll explain exactly what this habit is, and why many people unknowingly get it wrong. What's this one strategy that can help restore muscle, recover lost strength, and even slow the physical aging process well into your 70s or 80s? It's known as progressive resistance training, but likely not in the way you're imagining. Simply walking more, doing light water aerobics, or repeating the same light dumbbell routine each week won't produce the results you need. What truly works? According to groundbreaking research from Tufts University and McMaster University, is strength training that gradually increases in intensity over time. It's not about the length of your workouts, it's about how effectively your muscles are being challenged in a safe, consistent, and intentional way. One study found that older adults who did 2 30-minute resistance sessions per week, working muscles to light fatigue, made greater strength gains than those training 5 days at lower intensity. Let that settle in. You can spend less time exercising and still see greater results as long as the resistance steadily increases. This training activates your body's anabolic signals, the triggers that switch on muscle building mode. Without those signals, your body assumes muscle isn't needed and breaks it down. Give your body the right challenge, and even at age 75 or 85, it can respond like in your 40s. The best part, this daily practice doesn't require lifting heavy weights or going to a gym. Some of the most effective exercises used by seniors thriving into old age are surprisingly simple. Think isometric holds like pressing hands into a wall, or holding a plank for 10 seconds. Think eccentric movements like slowly lowering yourself from a chair or squat. Think compound exercises like chair squats, wall push-ups, or resistance band rows. No machines, no fancy equipment. You need a steady increase in effort, a way to monitor progress, and a goal to reach the point where muscles say, "That's enough for now." That's when your body kicks off the repair and rebuilding process. According to a breakthrough study in the Journal of Applied Physiology, even individuals in their 90s can rebuild significant muscle mass in 8 to 12 weeks of progressive resistance training. Still think you've missed your chance? Think again. Your muscles are waiting for a signal to grow. And this routine gives that signal. Here's the catch: many older adults unknowingly sabotage their progress. In the next section, we'll uncover the most common mistake that's speeding up muscle loss, and how to correct it before it's too late. What comes next may surprise you. Many older adults trying to fight muscle loss are unknowingly going about it the wrong way. And it's not their fault. They're following outdated advice from old fitness dogma, misinformed trainers, or well-meaning doctors who haven't kept pace with science. The biggest myth: muscles don't care how long you exercise. They care how intensely you challenge them. That's why walking for an hour or doing 20 reps with a tiny pink dumbbell isn't enough to stimulate muscle growth, especially after age 60. Research shows using the same resistance over time leads to training plateaus. Your muscles adapt, stop growing, and eventually shrink again. Another common mistake is focusing only on isolation exercises like leg extensions or bicep curls. These may feel effective, but they barely engage larger muscle groups responsible for strength, balance, and independence. Your body responds best to compound movements, squats, pushes, pulls, that mimic real-life activities like rising from a chair or climbing stairs. The biggest mistake: not training to fatigue. Research from McMaster University shows older adults pushing muscles to temporary exhaustion see greater gains. Even with light weights, training to fatigue means reaching the point where you can't do one more rep with proper form. That's when your brain tells your body to rebuild stronger muscle fibers, and transformation begins. Many seniors are told not to push themselves out of fear of injury. But the true danger lies in not pushing hard enough. Muscle loss leads to increased fall risk, broken bones, insulin resistance, slower metabolism, weight gain, and loss of independence. The longer you postpone action, the harder it becomes to reclaim strength. The encouraging part: correcting this doesn't require endless gym hours. Smart, gradual resistance training, consistency, and a mindset working with muscles are key. Challenge your muscles, not your joints. Begin with bodyweight exercises. Incorporate resistance bands, increase time under tension, and prioritize form over reps. Small targeted adjustments can produce big changes when done correctly. Now that you know what to avoid, let's look at what happens when you do things right, backed by real-world examples and evidence. In the next section, we'll highlight research and stories of older adults who've reversed decades of muscle decline and move with energy and strength of someone decades younger. Maybe you're asking, does this really work? Or is it just another feel-good idea? Let's look at the data, because results don't lie. And neither does science. Meet the superagers. This isn't a catchy nickname. It's a term used by researchers for people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s who function physically like those 30 or 40 years younger. Not just in lab tests, in daily life. These individuals go upstairs without using the handrail, play sports into their 80s, carry heavy bags without strain, and sometimes outperform younger adults in strength assessments. What's their secret? According to a study in the Journal of Applied Physiology, superagers share one consistent behavior: progressive resistance training as essential as brushing teeth. Several participants in their 70s maintain the same lean muscle mass as those in their 30s by doing short, high-quality strength sessions daily. This isn't only about lifting weights. A 12-week study by the University of Texas found older adults pairing resistance training with timed protein intake gained an average of 1.2 lbs of lean muscle without altering routines. A 76-year-old participant shared, "I can now get up from the floor without help, something I hadn't done in over a decade." Another study showed seniors using SAS, targeted stress supporting muscle recovery, experienced 40% less muscle degradation. A University of Alabama study observed at adults in their 80s starting resistance training for the first time. Within 3 months, they gained up to 3.3 lobes of muscle and boosted strength by 35%. They also showed improvements in balance, bone density, mental sharpness, and blood sugar regulation. Ask yourself, when was the last time a medication offered so many benefits? Age doesn't define your strength, your habits. These weren't elite athletes or born with exceptional genetics. They were regular individuals choosing to regain control and giving their bodies a reason to grow strong again. Your body is always responding. The question is, what signal are you sending? If the signal is, I'm done, muscles shrink. If you say, I need you, they respond with strength. Let's dig deeper into the science behind it. It's vital for older adults wanting to remain strong, mobile, and energetic into their 80s and 90s. Resistance training reverses anabolic resistance, where muscles don't respond effectively to growth signals as we age. Research in the Journal of Nutrition shows resistance exercise retrains muscles, making them more sensitive to protein and movement. It teaches your body to grow muscle again. Even in later years, it activates longevity genes. Harvard research found muscle contractions trigger FOX and sirtuin genes, responsible for cellular repair, muscle maintenance, and anti-aging responses. These genes act as internal first responders. Activated by challenging muscles, it combats inflammaging, slow inflammation, speeding muscle breakdown. Tufts University studies show seniors with higher inflammation lose muscle 3 times faster than those with lower levels. Resistance training releases anti-inflammatory cytokines, natural fire extinguishers, reducing inflammation resistance. Training triggers muscle protein synthesis, SIMNPS, your body's recovery mechanism. Muscle isn't built during exercise, but during recovery, repairing and strengthening fibers. Research shows 10 minutes of resistance exercise boosts MPS for up to 72 hours, offering more benefits than long cardio. It reestablishes the neuromuscular junction, the brain-muscle connection, weakening after 60, affecting balance and coordination. University of Michigan findings show multi-muscle resistance exercises rebuild these pathways, improving brain-to-body communication. Each repetition restores the mind-muscle signal, combining these benefits. Strength, clarity, reduced inflammation, longevity genes, quicker recovery. Comes from smart resistance training. Let's walk through how to begin safely, even if you haven't exercised in years, in just 10 minutes a day. No gym memberships, no expensive gear, no trainers required. Just your body, a small space, and a strategy. We call this the 10-minute strength blueprint, built for older adults to exercise smarter, not harder. Step 1. Begin with stability, laying a foundation with balance, posture, and joint alignment. Strong muscles are only useful if your body is stable. Start each session with a 2-3-minute warm-up march in place for 30 seconds, arm circles for 30 seconds, wall-supported heel raises for 10-15 reps, seated leg extensions for 10 per leg. These gently activate muscles and stimulate the nervous system. Safe for all fitness levels. Step 2. Focus on 3 key movement patterns. Functional movements active seniors rely on to stay strong. Forget mastering a dozen exercises. Center on chair squats, wall push-ups, and seated resistance band rows. These cover major muscle groups with minimal joint strain, stimulating growth and brain-muscle connection. Chair squats strengthen legs and core. Sit onto a chair, stand slowly, aim for 10 reps. Hold water bottles or increase reps for challenge. Lower slowly for intensity. Wall push-ups build chest, shoulders, arms, stand facing a wall. Bend elbows to approach. Push back, start with 8-10 reps, progress to a countertop for difficulty. Seated resistance band rows improve posture, loop band around feet, pull toward torso, or use a towel. Step 3. Train to controlled fatigue, not pain, where muscles say, I can't do another clean rep. That's the sweet spot for strength building. Whether 6 or 16 reps, quality and control matter. Rest as needed, aim for 2 sets of each movement, 3 times weekly. In 2 to 4 weeks, you'll notice improvements. Step 4. Measure progress, not perfection. Log sessions in a notebook or phone. Exercises, reps, feelings. This keeps you motivated and tracks progress. Step 5. Recovery is part of the routine. Hydrate well, refuel with 20-30 grams protein, eggs, yogurt, lentils, or smoothie. Include light activities like walking, stretching, or Tai Chi once or twice weekly to boost circulation and protect joints. Consistency, not perfection, is key. In 10 minutes daily, you can reactivate strength, maintain independence, and feel younger. We've saved something special, a bonus technique: high performing seniors use to double results? Likely new to you. In the next section, you'll uncover this technique. Second, heat exposure, like saunas, hot baths, or gentle hot yoga. A Finnish study found seniors using saunas 4,007 times weekly had 40% less muscle loss, improved circulation, heart health, and increased heat shock proteins repairing muscle. Just 10-15 minutes post-exercise boosts recovery and growth. Third, intermittent fasting, done safely, not skipping meals, but eating within a window, like 10 a.m. vs 6 p.m. The Salk Institute found this enhances autophagy, muscle mitochondrial function, hormone balance, and repair. A study showed a 10% muscle efficiency boost in 12 weeks without weightlifting. Start with one habit: a cold shower blast, 2-3 weekly saunas, or an 8-10 hour eating window. These stressors amplify health, signaling cells to adapt, repair, and strengthen. Combined with resistance training, seniors report quicker recovery, less soreness, and steadier gains into their 70s and 80s. You don't need extremes. Act with purpose. If you've reached this point, you're ahead of 93% of peers. The final piece will ignite your brain, fuel muscles, and keep you progressing, no matter your age. You've learned to rebuild strength, reclaim independence, and reprogram your body to age in reverse. Ask yourself, if your body can build muscle, if your brain can reconnect, if actions matter more than DNA, what else is possible? Muscle growth is just the start. What if you could boost memory, sharpen reflexes, regain balance, rebuild bones, and reawaken biology? Thousands of super-agers worldwide do this with science-based habits, starting with one shift, one decision. I'm not done yet. Choose one habit from this video and begin today, not tomorrow. Tell us in the comments which habit you're starting and what surprised you most. We're reading every response. Your insight might be featured in an upcoming episode. This isn't the end. It's your turning point. One small habit can reignite strength. Imagine what the next could do.